My next guest has been credited with putting Irish food on the map, so I'm sure she's no stranger to pies and puds. Welcome, Rachel.
Thanks, Paul.
Paul Rankin would have a blinder with that one. I'm going to phone him
We'll be
up
seeing him soon, won't we?
I know, yeah. And I'm going to catch up. I'll definitely tell him about that.
Yeah, thanks.
Because apparently you wrote that link.
Yeah, I did, yeah. It's on my biography.
It is. I like that, though. So the whole thing... Do you want a drink? I haven't seen you for ages.
What do you have?
I've got some white wine.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank
Now,
you very much.
what are you going to be cooking for us?
I'm going to be cooking... It's almost embarrassingly easy and simple. It's a raspberry and coconut pudding. It's something... My mum used to make something similar to this. It's not too like it, but
yeah.
I was basically trying to replicate something that Mum used to make when we were little.
Yeah.
She says she can't remember it. My sister can remember it. She says, oh, yeah, it was like a, I don't know, coconutty, spongy thing with raspberry jam. And so this is what I came up with. And it's just the flavour. I love that, just that raspberry coconut combination. It's just quite nostalgic to me.
It takes... Well, that reminds me of something like school dinners.
It is that kind of thing, isn't it? Yeah. But hopefully nice.
I love that, hopefully. Yeah, cheers, Rachel. Nice to see you again.
Lovely to see you.
Would you like to take over my kitchen and show us how to make... No, I'm going to sit there. I'm going to relax. It's my turn to relax. Go on. That's great. I love having you here.
Well, first of all, for this, actually, I'll put some butter on to melt. So it's just... This is one of these really simple pudding recipes where you just mix the wet ingredients in one bowl, dry ingredients in another bowl, and then mix them together in the oven. That's it.
So, have I got time to drink this then?
Probably
not.
No, you need to knock it back. First of all, I've got in here raspberry jam.
Yeah.
And, you know, you probably could use... Where are your spoons in here?
Yep,
you probably could use other jam, but raspberry and coconut, why try to change that, I think?
Yeah,
I just think it just works so well with this. Actually, would you mind spreading out the jam? You can do something. Oh.
Really?
There you go.
Rachel makes her blend of flour by adding baking powder, sugar and desiccated coconut. What do you think about Irish food? I mean, Irish food generally, is it different out in the sticks as it is in the city?
It's actually probably a little bit more traditional, yeah, definitely in the country, in rural areas. And, you know, but a lot of it, I think it's not unlike British food in that we never had a cuisine as such like France or like Italy did. Yeah. You know, I think a lot of the recipes are very like quite traditional British food in that really hearty, comforting type of food. Yeah. So our pies would be things like steak and oyster pie, steak and Guinness pie, steak and kidney pie. Yeah. You know, big hearty pies, or with pork as well. Food. Big pardon?
Proper food.
Proper food. And now, of course, there's a lot of other people living in Ireland, which is great, which has brought a lot of different influences.
Next, in a separate bowl, Rachel whisks together the wet ingredients. Do you cook this at home for your family?
This is actually Luca, our second son. This is, I think, his favourite thing. So I know when he sees this, he'll say, yeah, why didn't you make it for me?
How old is he?
He's 11.
Oh, he's 11.
He's the second, yeah. Oops.
Not far off my son, actually, so I'll have a look at this and taste it. If I think it's any good, I'll have to take it back to Josh then when I get it.
You'll have to take it back to your Josh. Yeah, we've got a Josh too. You're not still allowed to call him Joshy.
Josh, no. I call him Stinky sometimes, but he doesn't like that either.
OK, in here I've got what have I got? Milk, eggs, vanilla extract. And then you just make a well in the centre with the flour and baking powder and coconut and sugar. And of course you could put other things in here. You could put cinnamon in. Yeah. Lemon zest.
Do you enjoy teaching still?
I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. That is what... And I'm still teaching a lot at the cookery school, and I adore it. Yeah. I think that's really the basis of everything I do.
So it's all about heritage, isn't it, and teaching the kids?
The butter, sorry.
You forgot, I love that.
Mix the butter in with the eggs and the milk and the vanilla extract.
Absolutely. So that all went in. No one will ever see that, actually. So when Rachel's actually teaching, she'd actually put the butter in by now. I think we got away with it. Rachel then pours the coconut sponge batter onto a layer of raspberry jam in a baking tray.
Don't just pour it all in the centre, because then you tend to push the jam away to the side. So I tend to just kind of drizzle it over.
Rachel bakes her sponge at 180 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes until the top is golden brown.
And then this one is already cooked. And that's it.
Oh, wow.
Hot. That is just...
Oh, I like the look of that.
You see, it's really... I'll just move my wine, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I love coconut, you know. I love coconut inside a bake.
Raspberry jam.
To finish, Rachel dusts the sponge with icing sugar. That looks absolutely grand. I think we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to try that one, though.
That's it. Actually, you could keep it warm anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Earlier, Rachel Allen showed me a scrummy sponge, just like the one she remembers from her childhood. So my next recipe is inspired by my family. What I was going to do is the component parts of all of which my son loves. So I'm going to use Brie, brioche, Parma ham, a little bit of cranberry sauce. I'm going to come up with a Brie brioche pie.
Oh, it's not so rich then.
Not at all rich.
No, fabulous. Sounds brilliant.
My Brie brioche pie is an oozy and indulgent treat, spiked with sweet cranberry sauce and a salty Parma ham. The first job is to make the brioche dough. In here, I have my strong white flour, to which I'm going to add some sugar, some instant yeast, this is the powdered stuff, some salt to the other side, and then I've got 3 eggs I'm going to add to this as well. It's basically an enriched dough. That's all the brioche is, really. It's the way that you mix it makes it a little bit different. 3 eggs straight in. And now you drop down the machine, turn it on, and then the next thing to add is the milk. Now, you add the milk until it becomes more like a normal dough, really, at this stage. Don't be afraid of it. Put a little bit in to start with, depends on the size of your eggs. I'm using medium. Turn it up. And eventually that'll form a nice, smooth dough. Now, have you made brioche before?
Every time I teach it at the cookery school, I say, I must make this more at home, because I just love it. And I love the fact that you can start it one day and then finish it the next.
Yeah, because
breakfast,
it is down to a fermentation, isn't it? That's what it's all down to.
Perfect.
Now, put the rest of the milk in, then watch it begin to form the dough. And you can see in there now, what's happening now in the mixer is as it mixes, the glutens begin to tighten, and that's what gives you the stretch in the dough. And another thing that will happen after about 5 to 7 minutes, the dough will begin to draw up the hook itself and try and cling to the hook. That's when you know it's ready. And at that stage, you actually add your softened butter then. When you've got a fully developed dough, you add your softened butter, and then you mix it again for at least another 7 minutes. So what you're going to start off with is a normal dough, which you can go and make bread with, but then you're going to add the butter to it. That will then slacken it down, and it'll become like a liquid. Now, obviously, you can't use it then. So the key thing is with the brioche is once you've got the butter in and it's lovely, shiny, and you can almost open it up and read a newspaper through it, you pop it into a plastic tub or a glass jar and then put it in the fridge to chill down. The chilling of the butter makes the dough more pliable so you can shape it and do what you want with it. Now, in the fridge, I have got one which has been resting overnight. You can see it's actually grown in the fridge as well. Oh, you can smell that.
Oh, I love that.
It's slightly fermented. Yeah, and that's what a good brioche is. It's soft, but you can still shape it. When the dough is ready, tip it onto a well-floured board. Roughly shape into a round, and then roll it into a large disc. I love this. I mean, this is something my lad would love, I think. I've never tried it on him yet. I've made him brioche.
Yeah.
And I've seen him eat tons of Parma ham. But actually, the idea of Parma ham with the brioche, I think it will be a winner.
Amazing. And is it served while it's still a bit warm, or does the cheese kind of run out a bit?
You want that thing, as you cut it, to ooze. That's the point of it, you know?
Yeah.
A little bit more flour. It's getting a bit sticky there where the butter's melting. If you're in a warm kitchen, you'll find that the butter will try and melt fairly quickly, so you need to do this fairly rapidly. Right, I think that will probably do. So you end up with a rough disc of brioche, about 5-8 mil thick. I know it sounds pretty accurate, but it really doesn't matter. Next, lay some sheets of Parma ham onto the brioche dough. I remember once, actually, when I think it was a Saturday, and I said to Josh, what do you want to do today? Do you want to go go-karting? Do you want to go shopping? What do you want to do? Go and kick a ball around? He goes, Dad, can I bake with you?
Oh.
Spread a layer of cranberry sauce onto the Parma ham. Now I'm going to pop the brie on top of that.
My goodness.
It's like an
This
overload.
is such a simple idea. I love it.
It's great. It is a great recipe. It's something it is very simple.
Oh, wow.
You put some Parma ham, and again, you try and coat that brie. So I've got cranberry sauce, I've got Parma, I've got brie, and I've got this beautiful brioche, which you then fold up to the middle, gathering up like a parcel, right into the middle like this. And then you flatten it down, and then flip it over, and then pop it onto a baking tray, like that.
Yeah.
That basically is your dish. Now, this has got yeast in it. So one of the key things you can do is leave it to rise. Now, when you're resting this, the first thing to do, I've just got a beaten egg here, brush it all over with an egg, leave that to rest for about an hour while it's still proving, brush it again, and then with a palette knife or the back end of a knife, just draw a diamond pattern all over the top. You're not cutting it, you're just marking it. Leave your brie brioche pie to prove for a final time, which should take around 2 hours. Then bake it at 200 degrees C for 20 minutes. I've got one I want to show you, and I hope it's at the point where it oozes. Let's see.
Where the cheese is just warm and...
Oh, yes. The smell of the brioche, and you can actually smell the cranberries underneath as
Really?
well. This is very special. You cut straight down and a big wedge. So you've got your beautiful crispy brioche, you've got your Parma ham, you've got a layer of cranberry in there, and now you've got this lava of brie just pouring out.
And that's just for... that'll serve two.
That'll serve both of us, just about.
Yeah, just about.
My molten brie brioche pie, packed with cranberry sauce and Parma ham, is the perfect dinner time centerpiece, and I can't wait to see what my guests think of it.